you, Dr. Basalira. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for joining us today, where we're going to be talking about uh, investing to grow beyond small business. Most of you will agree with me that small businesses are the backbone of our economy, and many others around the world, through their contribution to job creation, new products and services, payment of taxes, and many other ways in which they contribute to our society. And so it is important that we talk about how we can grow these businesses. Of course, many people are stuck. Most of the small businesses fall into the trap of survival, where you find that the entrepreneur is allocating resources to fix problems, but maybe does not focus on how to get the business beyond where it is. And I want to say that growth demands a different kind of mindset. You don't want to simply allocate capital to prevent problems, but you want to create opportunities. And so it is very important that any small business owner shifts their mindset from simply managing costs to creating value and growing. And this morning we have a speaker from MOOPS who is going to be sharing with us how we can invest and grow beyond the small business. Our speaker is Mr. Julius Odida. He's a lecturer in the Department of Finance, and he's a business skills trainer. He's the founder of the YIET initiative. He has trained women entrepreneurs under the GROW project. He's a financial literacy trainer for Junior Achievement Uganda. He has also trained financial literacy for Infinity Ideas Network, and he's a researcher on financial well-being. He has a bachelor's degree in business administration, majoring in finance, a master of science in banking and investment management, and a postgraduate diploma in business education, a diploma in mathematics and psychology from the University of Oldenburg in Germany. Join me to welcome Mr. Julius Odida. Julius, you have 40 minutes, and thereafter we shall have a question and answer session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diane Ntamu and Dr. Edith, for the warm and kind introduction. I appreciate you all for joining. Since we are in Sub-Saharan Africa, may I please confirm that you can be able to hear me?
Yes, Julius. From my end, I hear you very well. I guess every other person is able to hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the warm introduction. I would like to start today's session, which is focusing on investing to grow beyond small business. I draw my presentation right away from what Dr. Diana said, that most young entrepreneurs today, or most people today, focus on starting a business and locking ourselves in there and being able to make sure that we survive until when finally the business collapses. Okay, so I want us to understand why, first of all, as a business, you need to grow. Now, in psychology, we say the individual's abilities and wishes goes and keeps on growing and growing and growing as and when they live on earth. So this also applies to business. For you to be able to move from survival to sustainability, you need to put in certain efforts amidst a community or an environment that has so many uncertainties, as we shall see. So, in simple terms, let's assume you have a small kiosk in Chikubo or any other trading center within any other part of the country. Your aim should be that I have started with a kiosk, but when I start with this kiosk, in the next 5, 10, in the next 5, 6, 7 months, 2, 3, 4 years, I should be able to upgrade this kiosk to possibly become a bigger shop. Then from there, I can be able to open up a factory and then open up different branches in different parts of the country so that I am able to grow. So that is why basically growth matters. So you need to aim at moving from starting and running a business for survival mode or on survival mode or for survival to making sure that this business is able to grow and sustain and live generations to come where your children, your grandchildren can still have this business. So meaning that you also grow in order to be able to increase your income. And when you increase income, that means you're able to employ more people in your business, okay? If you have a shop and you initially, you are the only one operating, when you decide to inject in more income, you're going to open up a bigger shop, probably. Then you employ maybe another shop attendant or somebody who helps you in doing deliveries, etc. Then you continue growing, you open up a company, you employ 10, 20 people, etc. So the major aim of you wanting to grow your business is to move away from survival mode to go into sustainability. Now, this moves hand in hand with investment. So if you want to grow, then number one, for the first few months or even a year, others even take 2, 3 years, you should forget about issues of consuming your profits. Okay. So in this case, you should maybe focus on reinvesting your profit. Now, they say knowledge builds actually wealth. So in this case, I have a friend, a very good friend of mine, Jordan, who keeps on saying you need to invest in knowledge, okay? So if you want to grow your business and move from that small start that you have started to a bigger one, then it is better you upgrade your skills. In most cases, you can go for further studies. If you're dealing into practical businesses like mechanics, you can go for further studies and learn how to repair a motorcycle. If you have a garage, you can learn how to prepare a vehicle. If you're into the hotel industry or the hospitality industry, you have a restaurant, you can learn how to cook better spices or different types of foods so that you are able to provide better services when you expand in future. You can add more stock and equipments in a shop when you are selling probably in retail. You can go into wholesale. If you used to maybe stock for maybe about 100,000 shillings in your shop, then this time round you invest back the profit and then you're able to stock for 200, 500,000, a million shillings, and then you expand. So meaning that one of the key aspects for you to be able to learn how to invest is basically saving. In the video that we have been watching before we started the session, they said saving is not all about money, but making sure that you value yourself in that for every single coin that you earn, there should be a certain percentage put aside as savings. And it is the discipline of saving that will enable you to eventually accumulate money. Then you will be able to invest. So our goal is when we start a small business, we should be able to move and expand and have the biggest and greatest businesses that we admire, because we all admire to grow and have growth and have the biggest we can as per human nature of psychology. So the business growth journey, or for you to grow your business, you can start with micro, okay? Where you have probably a small kiosk where you just simply sell, or a canteen we see around along the streets here or the roads here. Then we have a shop where you have a small shop. This is now categorized as small. Then you can have a medium. This is when now you open a branch somewhere, okay? So then lastly, you can have a large company or a big company. This now leads into large, where you even have a truck for deliveries. You have different branches. You're doing large-scale manufacturing, etc. So when you are talking about business growth, your major aim should be to move from this small kiosk that you've started up to building up a big company. Now, this relates to the story of Stick, whereby I have even written it down here, whereby he was the only sole owner. He started a business He had no system. He was the cleaner. He was the technical person. He was the manager. He was he was generally everything. So now, for you to be able to move from micro to large, you should be able to do certain things or develop what we call a system in this case. You should have standard operating procedures. It is better to delegate. That is why at the end of the day, you go ahead and you need to hire. Okay. So if I have a shop and a kiosk and I want to expand into a shop, this will be overwhelming because many things are going to be there. I'm going to increase my stock. I am going to go ahead and add so many things. Okay. So that simply means that I cannot do everything alone. I want to give an example. I have a nursery school in Gulu district. Now, I wouldn't be like Stick because if I decided to say, let me be the head teacher, let me be the teacher, let me be the basa, let me be the cook, let me be the askari, let me be the matron who takes care of the kids, etc. That would be so overwhelming to me. So that means for me, I am here in MOOCs, okay, but the school is able to run. There's a system that is already running in there, whereby a teacher knows that they are supposed to go and they teach, a cook knows they are supposed to prepare food, the head teacher knows they are supposed to oversee the operation of the school, and then the bursar knows their work is to deal with monetary aspects of the school. So in fact, I sometimes do not go there, or probably go there once in a month or twice a month, but you find that the school is running. So as you grow and expand, you need to put in place systems, you need to put standard operating procedures, you need to build a team for your business. Then you need to go ahead and automate certain processes. If there are payments, can it be paid probably? Do you have an online payment system that can be done? For example, for my case, I have Momo Pay where they can pay. I have School Pay rather, where they're able to pay and then we get the money on our account directly. So this is the growth journey that you as an entrepreneur or you as a business owner should be aiming at, so that by the time you probably end your life, not ending the life of the business, there is your life ending and the life of the business ending. So the business should be a going concern that even if you're not there, it should be able to move on. Now, some of you simply say, okay, I do not have, I am so busy. How do I start up a business? Yet I am working somewhere, I have a full-time job, etc. Now, this brings us to aspects of investment, where we have an active investment, then we have a passive investment. So let me start with the active. Now, with the active is when you do the hands-on. You open up a shop or you are selling in the market, you're a market vendor, okay? You have a school like I do, and you sit in that business and run it on a day-to-day basis. So you are actively involved in the day-to-day business activity of this business. But now, if you are busy or you're doing some other things somewhere, or you're busy in your shop, you can also earn money, or you can also be able to have another investment where you do not actively participate in its day-to-day activities. So the simplest is you can have a savings account in the bank, which is interest paying. You can invest in bonds. Governments usually issue out bonds, and large companies, they issue out treasury bonds that attract interest. It can be from 3 years to 5 years to 10 years to 20 years, etc. Now, SACCOs, our MOB SACCO here, for those who are staff members at SACCO, we have shares here. So you can be able to buy shares in these SACCOs, and you earn returns at an annual basis when they declare their profits from their transactions. Locally, you can also be able to invest in your village savings and loans association, okay, where you save every week, what we call the chibinas in around downtown here. So here is where you're able to earn interest at the end of when they're declaring and sharing the money at the end of the trading period or your period. You can buy shares. MTN issued shares in 2021. In 2023, 2024, Airtel issued as well. You can be able to buy shares and then you earn dividends, or what we call a profit or a payback on your investment at the end of the trading period. So these are aspects of investment that you can be able to pay attention to so that you are not stuck, and this can help you grow, because at the end of the day, you want to move from survival to sustainability. Okay, I will continue. So as we have talked about as we have talked about our growth journey, saying that we can be able to move and invest, etc. For our Ugandans here, we know what we can be able to do. We can be able to invest in so many things. We can invest in our shops and make it grow. Okay, you can have a poultry farm where you start with only 2 birds like this. Okay, when you start with 2 birds, you keep on multiplying, and then you increase. If you are having them in a cage, this time around you build a small poultry house, then you go ahead and you keep on multiplying and let them grow. You can start up a border business, and in this case, you buy 1 bike, you train a rider, or you train riders, add more, and then you grow your income, and then you have so many. So the goal here is for you, if you have a border business, you start with 1 motorcycle, then you should be able to move ahead and grow and have so many motorcycles that can be able to give you money. And you have the incomes flowing as such. Now, if you have a salon, you can start with 1 salon, then you train more staff, open more branches, and attract more clients. Then agro processing, you can add machines, buy 1 machine, add more, begin producing on a large scale. For example, a maize mill. Now, if you ever want to grow, then it is important that you know how to finance it. So in this case, we've had people saying that, I would really want to expand this business, but I don't know where to get the money from. Where do I source this money? Loans in the bank are very, very expensive, etc. When we were training the Grow project in northern Uganda, we noticed that people do not know where to get money from to be able to finance. So the first financing source, if you want to grow your business, is the profit that you're making. Now, the first thing that you need to do is, if you have started a business, you have a kiosk. I usually use a kiosk because it is the smallest you can be able to start with. Or you have a mudala along the streets here of Kampala, or in your village, or in the trading center where you're selling. So whatever profit that you're going to make, if you ever want to grow, it is always better to invest or reinvest or plow back this profit back in the business, because that is the first source of financing that you are going to have. So you can be able to start a business with 20,000, with 50,000. Think about any business that you're going to start. But if you operate this business very well, there are possibilities that you are going to make a profit. So if you make a profit of 20,000 out of the 100,000 business that you've started, then you should be able to plow that 20,000 shillings back. Now, by plowing, I simply mean get this money, add more stock, so that you're able to grow. Because if you do not, then you're going to remain stagnant if you get the profit and you eat it. So just like Dr. Diana said, most people act on survival mode by saying, okay, I have this business, it is earning me profit, I enjoy the profit at the end of the day, I continue operating. So you get stagnant at one point and you do not grow. Now, an example of myself, the school that I have for the past 1 year, that was the whole of last year, I didn't actually enjoy a single profit from this school. So whatever money that I'll get, I plowed back in the school. Added more structures, hired more teachers, because as the school grows, more children come in and they require more teachers, they require more better services, they need more classrooms, etc. So for me to be able to grow this school to the level that I want, I need to plow back this profit. Now, I have spent some time on profit because most people think profit is for eating or for enjoying as a person. Okay, so you can also get money from your circles. There are different local circles that are there in your villages, in the markets where you sell, in different associations. They are formed circles. You can be able to get a loan, which has probably a lower interest compared to the banks. Then you can use village savings and loans associations, which are called VSLs, or the chivinas within town here. And this will help you be able to raise financing. Now, banks also provide financing, but their due diligence process, or the process they take to assess you, might be stricter, okay? Because they want to be sure that you are able to, you're a potential borrower who is going to pay back this money. So in this case, you should be able to have the required books of accounts. Your business should have existed, it is registered. And then in most cases, they ask for a collateral if at all you're not, if they're told they're not giving you something to do with salary loan, etc. So banks also provide financing sources, in this case, where you can be able to access financing. So we have investors, individuals who feel they can be able to take up your business and put in money because they have seen it has future or potential of making profits. Yeah, they can inject in their money aside. Then you can also partner with colleagues and friends to be able to raise financing. Now, all this should be in the process of you aiming at moving from a survival mode to moving to a sustainability where you're growing, and each year there should be progress, and you should be able to track and say, I started this business with this amount of money. How much money have I achieved from now? How much business, how much profits have I been getting, and how much stock has increased? So now this will put you into task and a challenge, because if you are investing your hard-earned profit, you are getting loans and you're operating from loans, you have an investor where you need to pay back in terms of probably the investment, then you are going to be committed to making sure that this business operates and grows at the end of the day. Okay, now, when we are growing, we have certain mistakes that we as business owners make. For example, I started this by saying that your major aim is to grow into, starting from a kiosk, you go into a shop, from there you go into a medium shop that sells wholesale. Then after that, you go into a large open branches, into a bigger company that does supplies and manufactures for others. Now, some people will say, okay, now that I want to grow, let me grow tomorrow. Okay, you have a kiosk, but you want to grow into a company. So you're going to wake up and say, okay, now I am going to the bank, or I'm going to a circle, and I'm going to borrow money worth constructing a big company at once. Now that is a mistake. So what I am trying to say here is, let it be gradual. You start with one step, grow into another, continue until you're able to reach that level. So from where you started, the goal should be to reach where you admire to be as such. Okay, so one mistake that we make is over borrowing. When you borrow, there can be over borrowing and multiple borrowing, where you say, okay, I've talked about these sources. You go to a circle and borrow. Go to a village savings and loans association, you borrow. You borrow from a bank. An investor gives money to you. You partner. So this will be multiple borrow. But then when you over borrow, that means you are going to get money or financing that repaying back or servicing will be a challenge to you. That amounts to over borrowing. So this couples with poor record keeping. Now, record keeping should not be as something that is complex that you should think about. But last week when Mr. Jordan was talking about record keeping, he said you can keep a simple record as your inflows and outflows. The money that comes into your business, that can be in form of sales, maybe in form of commissions that you've received into your business, etc. Write those records down on a daily basis for your business. Then you record money that is getting out. You've paid rent, you've paid salaries, you've bought raw materials, okay? You have paid electricity, you've paid water. Keep those records down, because that will enable you to track, okay? It will enable you to track what amounts of money you've earned and the amounts of money you've spent as such. Now, another mistake is expanding too fast. Now you want to rush, you want to achieve what you're saying, okay, I admire this business so much. I see it has grown, it is now big, but for you have a small business. So you want to grow and reach the level of that business in probably a week or a month or even a year. There are businesses that have taken 10 to 20 years to be able to grow to where they are today. But for you, you want to grow and achieve that in less than a week. Now, that is a mistake that you are going to actually make in your businesses. And in most cases, you're going to have challenges. Now, I have a very simple example that I have of a business that grew so fast and it closed in a month. Now, just close to where I live here, a business started. They are selling shops, clothes. I went there. I wanted to buy some trousers. I wanted to support a neighboring business as well. So I went and told the lady, you know what, I want to book so that you deliver for me these trousers when I am back from work. As I'm coming back. On getting back, the business is no more, okay? But I kept on seeing every day this lady adding stock, adding more trousers, adding more clothes, adding more stock into this business. But I wondered how this business ended up closing too fast in a very short period of time. Now, I went with her contact. I think she will feel offended if I go ahead and ask her why she has closed so fast like that. But I think as time goes, I will go ahead and find out why she has closed so fast. So many businesses are opening and closing immediately because, number one, they are expanding too fast than they can be able to handle. And then they're also ignoring market demands. So you find that you're opening up a business in an area where probably there are so many competitors, or the product is not liked, or the market demands this and you're offering another product altogether. So that can actually be a mistake that you will make. So I want you to think of 3 investments to make in the next 12 months and how you will fund them. And for that matter, how you're going to grow this business. Because the most important aspect of you being able to grow this business or to start a business is to be able to grow and achieve at the end of the day. Okay, I'll proceed. I have a quote that I like so much. And this quote says, business opportunities are like buses. There is always another one coming. And that is by Richard Branson. So you are always going to wake up to different business opportunities. But your ability to be able to plan on how you are going to start up this business and subsequently grow it to the level you want it to be is going to be most important than you simply starting a business and getting stuck there. We talked about the story of steak, which I want to actually emphasize again in the video, where you want to start a business and you own it and run it alone. In most cases, such a business is mostly like an employment to you, whereby without that business, or rather without you, you are not able to run that business success. That business is not able to continue successfully. But if you start up a business venture and you are able to number one, have a proper management by setting up a system, having standard operating procedures, you're able to delegate tasks where possible. Just like, for example, I am here in Kampala, but I have a school that is running up country. Just like my brother Jordan Owomugisha, he has a shop here in Kunya, but he is able to do his activities because he has somebody he has employed there. The business is able to run. His work is to be able to oversee. And that is the entrepreneur that the video was telling us about. You're able to build a team where you can be able to work with. You're able to automate tasks. And most importantly, you are able to manage money. If you have the discipline to manage money, the discipline to save, the discipline to be able to know that whatever amount of money that you have can be saved and it accumulates to what you require, and it creates for you the investment needs that you have. This will eventually lead to your business success, and you can be able to grow from micro to a large business that you admire today. Of course, this is all coupled with patience, resilience, and consistency in your business operations. Now, most importantly, we need to take note of the different economic shocks that we may have as individuals and within the country. Running a business today is very, very dynamic given the current situation that we have, the rise in fuel prices due to the conflict in the Middle East, which has actually affected the price of everything. you find that something that is that was 2,000 shillings is now probably 4,000 shillings. And all these are economic circumstances that will always affect your business. But as such, being able to know this early and having preventive measures will definitely lead to you being able to grow up your business without any challenge. I want to thank you so much for listening to me, and I welcome any questions or discussions. Thank you so much. Back to you, the moderator.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Odida Julius. We appreciate you. Thank you for finding time to come and talk about this very important topic of investing to grow beyond small business. Like you indicated, indeed, many people start a business, they lock themselves there until they fail. We appreciate you because you've been able to talk to us and guide us. You've indicated why growth matters. You've told us what is investment. You've also told us about the types of investments, active investment, the passive investment, and how to finance growth, and the common mistakes that people make. You've also given us an action point where we should think through the situation. Thank you very much, and I'm sure many people logged on here have some questions or comments to make. And thank you for being practical and very detailed. We appreciate you. And I would like to invite Mr. Joseph Caesar Ojok to guide Q&A. Caesar, please unmute and guide Q&A.
Thank you so much, Dr. Edith. Good morning, everyone. Please confirm you can be able to hear me.
You're loud and clear, Caesar. Kindly continue.
Thank you, Doctor. Yes, friends and everyone on call.
Hello, Caesar. Hello, Caesar. Now we are not very clear now.
To this particular session, part of the session where we are going to be having. First, allow me. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. We can now hear you, but earlier the network again was on and off, but now we can hear you. Proceed.
Maybe I can step in and assist. I have feeling
Okay, please.
Good
Okay,
morning,
Julius.
ladies and gentlemen. This is Karuhanga Joshua. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
I work in Entrepreneurship Center, and I'm going to step in to assist with the Q&A this morning. Please feel free to type your question in the chat, raise your electronic hand, or even type it under Q&A. You'll be given, I know if you raise your hand, you'll be given permission to unmute and ask your question directly, so feel free. Thank you very much, Mr. Odida Julius, for the presentation. When I scroll through the chat a bit, there's just appreciation for the presentation. So everyone is very thankful for the presentation that you've just given. We're just waiting for any questions if they might arise. Feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to type your question in the chat, and it will be read promptly. Yes, Julius, there's a question from, there's a comment in the chat from Kanu. He asks, I would like to ask if all businesses have the capacity to grow into large companies. And then he continues to say, I do snacks business. I do stocks business, but I'm doing what most people are doing online and around. But the profits from the business seem not to sustain and build the business. Over to you, Mr. Odida.
Okay, yeah. The question of most businesses, if all businesses have the capacity to grow into large companies, definitely yes. Now, just like I stated in the presentation, that your goal should be what you want to be at a certain point in time. Now, if you do snacks business, now look at a snacks business that look at this business in future, 10, 20 years, 15 years to come from now, having mass production. Now, the aspect of having most people doing it online, now that is an aspect of competition. So in entrepreneurship, we talk about what we call innovation and creativity. So in this snacks business you're doing, can you be able to make it much more better than what others are, what your competitors or what the same people in business are actually producing? Now, this now goes back into having market research. You doing your market research to see probably what kind of products or what kind of ingredients or things that are put in the snacks of your competitors, and then you add in more so that you're able to get in more customers and attract more than the rest than what they do or what they are attracting as such. So I want to give you an assurance that you can be able to grow this business to the level that you want it to be, as long as you're able to follow and avoid the mistakes that I have talked about. But most importantly, make sure that your business outstands the rest by following the aspect of the market demand, knowing your competitors, and if the profits from the business seems not to sustain, we've talked about the different sources of financing that you can be able to use to finance your business operations so that you're able to grow and expand. But while doing this, you should be able to take note of the mistakes that we make so that you're not able to fall a bait or a culprit of your business collapsing and you being too much indebted due to financing using debt and the maybe equity that requires payment of returns at the end of the day. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Odida. There's another question. I might have overlooked it earlier, but it's coming from Kevin Makoba. He asks, what are some unique challenges you foresee for small business management? Yes, Mr. Odida, you can respond to that.
Okay, thank you. Now, a small business will always face different challenges, which are so many, and most of them are practical, with which we can see. I want to give a very, very recent example of what was done around major cities and towns across the country. Now, we have changes in regulations. I give an example. We've had KCCA in Kampala here, chasing small businesses that are operating along the streets, okay? So a micro business or a nano business that has started maybe probably by selling putting a chips frying business along the roads here, and they have a hope of maybe starting up a snacks business in future. So the changes in regulations by government would have probably shut down the dream and future of this person, because this person has already been chased from the streets where they have started from, or where they would like to start from in this case. So regulatory changes, we have economic situations that will not favor you. Currently, we have inflation. We have issues to do with market, where you may start your business in a wrong area, and then where the market does not actually buy the idea. Of course, that can be solved by you doing market research, which most people don't do. You say, okay, this person has started this business and it is running very well. I think let me also start it here. Okay. Then we have issues to do with financial literacy or financial management, which is a very big issue, where we we don't know how to separate between business money and personal money. So if I am selling a shop, for example, if I want sugar for taking tea at home, I just simply go to the shop and I use even a cup. I don't use the weighing scale. I use a cup and put it in a cavera. I even use a spoon. I put it in my cup and then I go and take. Now, this will eventually affect your business. There are issues to do with marketing and brand identity and making your product known to the public. There are issues to do with quality of the product. And then there are issues to do with financing, where we have many small businesses today do not have a better source of financing. And this relates to issues to do with record keeping, because for any financial institution, for anybody to give you financing, you should be somewhere. And what shows that you're somewhere, the records that you have of your business performance over time will definitely show that you have your business is sustainable and can be able to pay back this money that has been borrowed. etc. etc. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Odida. There's another question in the chat from Sheila Kasuja. She says, thank you, Mr. Odida, for the presentation and your points on the mistakes we make in business. We have taken note of them. The biggest challenge is on taxes that we pay. And taxes that we pay tend to wipe out all our savings. What's your comment on this?
Okay, thank you so much, Sheila. Now, taxes are really going to be inevitable in every business. And because it is through taxes that, government can be able to raise up revenue or get revenue to be able to provide services to the population. Now, my comment on taxes is I'll still talk about it in terms of records. Others will give comments in different perspectives. Others will give very negative comments. Others will give positive comments. It is about taxes or taxation. But I want to relate taxation to keeping up to trend with your business records and being able to provide actual information to the tax authorities in respect to how your business is performing. Because the tax officers will follow your records or your business records to be able to levy tax on you, okay? I don't want to say that let us keep records that show that our businesses are not making profits so that we don't pay taxes, but keeping of accurate records that will show your business performance of how it has been performing from the time you started it up to when, up to the time when they have come to be able to assess your tax, will enable them charge and avoid assumptive tax levy. So by assumptive of accounts, the records are not kept properly, they will simply say, okay, let us just guess and have an assumption of how much tax you're supposed to pay. That will definitely wipe away your savings and the profits that you've made in this business. But if you have kept better records, you have the records of the business and how the business has been performing, because and how you've been operating, then tax will be levied on proper records, and a correct amount will be levied, which will prevent you from making a terrible loss and closing the next day because they have overtaxed you. So that is a reply I can be able to give about tax. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odida. Let me just relay the last comment that is in the chat, coming from Sam, and he asked in relation to access to business financing as the business grows. What advice would you give someone who wants to start keeping records, like a software or even a manual records? He's basically asking for your advice on that. Thank you.
Okay. Now, during my presentation, thank you, Sam. During my presentation, I did say that a record is very, very important. A record is very important, and you do not need, for starters, you don't need a software to be able to keep a record. I'm glad you've talked about a manual record. Yes, when we are doing when we are training with the Grow project, we train them to keep records as simple as this exercise books of pick fare or budget of I think are they 1,000 shillings these days. Okay, so you can keep your business records just as simple as keeping your inflows and outflows. Inflows is how much money comes in, how much money, the inflows is money coming in. Then outflows is how much money is going out of your business. So this will first of all promote discipline in your business, because you are going to move and know this is the amount of money that I have earned, this is the amount of money I have actually spent. So it will promote tracking of how your business is progressing, and it will enable you decide on whether this business, or probably even see whether this business is making a profit or it's not making a loss. Because if your inflows are less than your outflows, then this business is not performing very well. Now, the access to financing requires that you should have at least records, and specifically for financial institutions like banks and microfinance institutions or microfinance deposit-taking institutions, they will require that you have at least financial statements. Talk about statement of cash flows, statement of probably changes in equity depending on the type of a company or the business you're running, your profit and loss accounts, then your balance sheet. So if you keep those records and you have all those records and the receipts of your transactions, then if it is required, then you can get an expertise or an expertise to come and be able to prepare for you those financial statements for you to be able to access finance. And when you have that, your role as a person is just to simply keep those records. Then at an appropriate time, when it is a requirement that you need to prepare those financial statements for access of financing, you would have the basic records available to be able to present to someone who can prepare them formally. Then you present them to the financial institution for accessing finance. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Julius, for answering the questions, for the presentation, for the insight. We're very grateful. I just also want to let everyone know, in case you are interested in getting the recording of this session, we post all our recordings on our YouTube channel. If you can just go to YouTube and just type in Entrepreneurship Innovation and Incubation Center, our page will be the first. All these sessions are posted there. In case you also want to watch previous sessions, feel free to go there. Thank you very much, everyone, for the time that you've given us in Q&A. I'd like to close it here and hand it back to Dr. Edith Basaliva. Thank you very much and have a blessed Thursday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Josh Karuhanga, for guiding and managing Q&A very well. And I'd like to appreciate our presenter also for further interacting with our participants when you respond to their questions and comments. We appreciate you, Mr. Julius Odida. Thank you very much. And thank you for finding time in your business schedule to be able to come and make a presentation to our entrepreneurs. It is also nice to know that you are running some businesses. The nursery school, congratulations. And thank you for sharing the experiences that you have. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost get to the end of this, and allow me to invite Mr. Samuel Walumba to make closing remarks. Mr. Samuel Walumba is a lecturer in the Department of Projects and Small Business Management and Small Business Management. I'd like to invite Mr. Samuel Walumba to make closing remarks. Samuel, please.
Thank you, Dr. Edith. I hope you can you hear me well?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good morning, colleagues, entrepreneurs, and our Okay, good morning, colleagues and entrepreneurs on the call. Thank you so much for taking time and joining. Thank you so much, Dr. Edith. and our presenter, Mr. Julius Odida. So as we come to the end of this session, allow me express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Julius Odida for an engaging and practical presentation that we have just had this morning. We have really learned a lot from his experiences. What has made today's discussion very, very insightful is that it has gone beyond theory to address the realities that entrepreneurs face on a daily basis. Through his own entrepreneurial journey and experiences shared from your nursery school in Gulu, you have demonstrated that sustainable growth is not a matter of chance. It is something which comes out of deliberate decisions, discipline, and also continuous learning. Personally, I really picked some lessons, and one of them was businesses do not grow simply because the owners work harder. They grow because owners build systems that allow businesses to function efficiently, consistently, and even independently. So, as entrepreneurs, we should aspire to build the enterprises that can thrive beyond our daily presence. So that was a good one, and I charge all entrepreneurs to always put in action whatever we have been able to learn from this presentation. Allow me to extend our appreciation to Dr. Diana Antamu and the MOBS Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Center for your unwavering commitment, support to organizing this weekly Become a Better Entrepreneur series. Week after week, you continue to create a platform where entrepreneurs can learn from practitioners. They are able to exchange ideas, and they're also able to strengthen their entrepreneurial capacity. So to everyone who joined in this morning, thank you for choosing to invest your time in your personal and business development. I want to tell you that the true value of today's discussion will not be measured by the notes we have taken, but also by the actions we take after leaving today's meeting and making sure that whatever we have learned from this discussion from Mr. Julius Odida, we are able to implement them in our businesses. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, our speaker, the organizers, and all participants. We wish you a productive week ahead in whatever you're going to be doing, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday as we continue our journey of becoming better entrepreneurs. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walumba Samuel, for your great closing remarks and re-emphasizing the issues that we've been able to go through. I would like to appreciate you. Thank you very much, Mr. Walumba Samuel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting to the end of the presentation. And on behalf of Makerere University Business School Entrepreneurship Innovation and Incubation Center, and on behalf of Makerere University Business School, allow me to appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for logging on in this session this morning. And we'd like to invite you again next Thursday, same time. We'd like to wish you a blessed Thursday and also a blessed new month of July. We wish you all the best and bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Sleep. We are going to sleep.